Welcome back, everybody. It's Creative Redundancy, the one known as CR, like it says on your screen right now, because I just added it on. Sorry for the slight delay, but I'm here on this late night chit chat stream with CR. Got to keep on going, and so hopefully everyone's doing well for what it is and for everything that's going on and all that such, right? All right. I'm not oblivious to what's been going on. Right? I hear the news, I see the reports, and all this other stuff, right? Because everyone's talking about it. It's the hype that's going around, right? And such, right? I mean, I can get into that too, but we'll see how this stream fares for me, and we'll see how long I go for. It might be just a short 2-hour stream, right? So, yeah, earlier today, I was just like stream hopping from different streams, just visiting some people, right? Saying hi to them amongst some other things and all that stuff, like literally. Well, one of the streams, I didn't realize they were gonna be on live. So I had to slide out at like the 1 hour so I can catch another live stream and show some support and chime over there, which led to like another stream then. Because I was planning on streaming tonight anyways, like, so I'm just like, and I just left a live stream like half an hour ago. GP! Yeah, what up, GP? The greatest person ever. At least in theory. Just kidding. Hi. How are you doing, man? Yeah. Yeah. Well. I'll try not to get into that. I just wanted to mention that real quick, right? Because I was talking to Soul, and they're like, "What do you think about it here?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, guy had family, friends, right? There's like many other people out there, right? So, I think I'll leave it at that for now. I mean, yes, my late night streams are technically like a little bit more opened, but maybe not that open. Have a chit chat. Yeah, so I was just in with the. Well, actually, originally I was in this live stream and they were actually packing socks. Hey, packing socks? Yeah, what do you mean by that? Well, they were actually donating them. Like, I never seen this, like, so many socks on screen. Bag after socks. They were bringing them somewhere to go donate them in such, right, in time. And haven't been live for like a while, so I'm like, I'll chime in, right? I'm actually a channel moderator for them too, so I want to chime in, and I've known them. Wow, I haven't known them that long. They live in the U.S., but out east, but they're very nice people, so I wanted to drop by and show some support. Anyways, right? Then I had to stream off to another preparedness type of stream, which led to like me chiming into like a gardening stream. And here I am streaming myself. Ta-da! Yeah. I know, I'm looking forward to Shadow's stream, by the way, GP. I'm looking forward to it, actually. Actually, that's kind of up on everyone's metaphoric radar or up my alley or up my road in terms of things. Hey. Well, I'm trying to remember the title of it, / the thumbnail. I know it has to do with preparedness. I know that's for sure. It is National Preparedness Month. Hence, many of my videos this month will relate to that. Including the one you saw, GP! I can actually say it. Because you actually saw it. I mean, I'm not going to spoil it on this stream. Even though it has to do with water, and stream technically is more than just tech. It could be about water too. But yeah, here I am, right? And I'm already like 5 minutes in, and I barely said anything, and now I'm doing that rambling thing. right? That you say you do yourself. I'm just stretching to the side here to grab my coffee here and have a sip here. I actually just made this, well, more or less. So yeah. And yeah, like I said, these channels I was in with earlier, I'm like, I'm a channel moderator for them, so I'm like, yeah. And then drop by and just show some support for them, right? Especially for this, the good things that they can and will and have been doing. For the people, the preparedness side, environmental side. Oh, hey, you know what that reminds me of? That acronym that I gave for PREP. Totally reminds me of it now. Now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, so yes. GP's probably like just listening to me. Probably has some coffee in his hand. I know it's got to be morning there because it's nighttime here. It's got to be morning there, right? It's got to be morning there, right? I remember from the previous late night streams I do at this time. I'm like, yeah, he's probably having a sip of coffee or tea or whatever, some breakfast or whatever, and doing his thing, getting his day started and all that stuff. And apparently I get someone else dropping in. It's 6:30 in the morning. He's laughing out loud. Maybe he'll write something else that I can say right about now. Or not. But yeah. Let me have a sip here. So yeah. So this month, it's not that I won't quote unquote make videos. Obviously, this is live stream, so I don't have to edit or whatever, right? But I do have to maintain a conversation of some sort and entertain you guys or say something entertaining or knowledgeable or share a story or whatever, right? But I think this month, for me, in terms of the preparedness side of things, I'm gonna do some other things. I'm not saying I won't make videos, but I'll probably do some other things. Maybe I'll record some of it. Maybe I'll show it in the future. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Or talk about it in a live stream anyways. Whatever. Something along the lines of that. Yeah, I see. Okay, GP. I got you there. So, yeah. Yeah, I was... Because, like, it's already the 12th, well, 13th, more or less, right? So, like, pretty much the 13th now. Pretty much, right? Pretty much. It's still before midnight here, but... like, almost half the month, well, the first 2 weeks has gone by already. Wow. Once Monday rolls around, yeah. First 2 weeks already went by. Already. Fairly quickly. It's just like... I feel like... I mean, don't get me wrong, I've done some harvesting of some stuff, right? Maybe in the future I'll show it, right? Also, I've shared some images with some people that get a sneak peek and all that stuff, right? Amongst some other things. But I've harvested some things, still harvesting some things. Actually, I still have things fruiting and flowering, technically, right now. And I still eventually have to shoot video on that. I may actually do that at the same time, so I might kind of do this preparedness part with the additional content creation part and bring them together like they were always meant to be. Right. I'm just trying to time it well. Maybe not Saturday, I don't know, maybe Sunday, I don't know, or Monday. This coming up week, I think, and just do it. Or at least get something going on in as much as possible. And maybe while I'm doing this live stream, I can think of the thumbnail and the title for it. You're probably wondering, how come Sierra's talking so fast here? Or has lots to say? Well, for two reasons. What you don't hear is that I got music in my earbuds right now, just to keep pace, right? And such. So, like, If you start hearing me humming, you'll know why. Although I can't hum the home tune. I'm pretty sure I'll get dinged or something like that. Although I've had content ID claims, right, and stuff like that. I've never had quote unquote a CRS, copyright strike or whatever, or a community guideline strike. Alright. I mean, I've had content ID claims. One of them I managed to, like, dispute. The other one, well, whatever. Right. I think even one of my live streams or whatever, right? Even this one, like, audio that I used during the live stream, it got a content ID claim, and I reused it later, but I had to change the music that I was using. So apparently, I'm like, okay, whatever, right? Which ended up being from a video, a live stream version of me showing it to me showing it as a static video. What's up, Mike? I see you in there. Virtual fist bump to you. I see you again. How are you doing, man? How's all the how's all the rations doing? Are you rationing it? I'm trying to do what I can here. Trying. With the resources, funds, availability of things, and all that stuff, right? I mean, I think, like, a lot of the preparedness channels are kind of in their element right now, right? Because it's National Preparedness Month, right? I mean, many of them. And many of them I don't even know, probably, too, right? I mean, even today, like, or whatever the time is right now for you guys, I think 10 hours ago, they posted something, and they were just talking about winter time already. And they were saying, like, I'm not subscribed to the channel yet. I have been watching the content, right? I may change my mind after the stream. We'll see. Because actually, they were talking about it, and they're like, yeah, I know it's kind of earlier and stuff like that. It's barely fall. It's barely in the first day of fall. Because that's next week, right? Yeah, next week. Well, not Monday, but next Monday. So not this Monday, but next Monday, right? If I remember right. On the 22nd. 9 days from now. Yes, my math is right, alright? And I was just like, they were just talking about it right away. I'm just like, so I had to chime in on that, something like that. I could chime in. I could relate to it to a certain degree, right? The cold, the winter, and stuff like that. Like, and I gave my kind of 2 cents on it, as they say, right? And it's a very short story, because they were, and then I watched this other video too, about their GHB, their get home bag, right? And I just kind of chimed in on that video that I did back a couple years back in the winter time, back in, like, it was February of 2024, I believe. Yeah, 2024, where I walked 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers, and, like, -2 Fahrenheit, -20 Celsius weather for, like, a couple hours, right? And saying, yeah, water's important, but at that time, shelter was important. Cover elements, right? Clothing elements were important, right? I didn't want to freeze my ass off, right? I mean, like, it's one thing to be outside for 5 minutes, 15 minutes in the cold, right? But a couple hours, because eventually the heat fades away from you, if you're not retaining it and holding it back to, like, keep you warm, right? Like, even since then, I've acquired / made / created some gear to supplement that, right? So, because I was trying out this buff that I made in a previous video, right? And decided to use it. I mean, even since then, I've even updated some of that gear, it's the winter gear itself. I mean, I've shown it earlier this year and last year, around the winter, the previous winter to this video, to this stream, right, to the season, coming up season. I was just, like, showing you all that stuff. Like, even earlier, I was talking to someone, one of my other followers, right? I was talking to them over on IG for a bit. I was just kind of mentioning that and all that stuff. Okay, back to the chat. before I forget. Wow, that's awesome, Mike. That's awesome. Rations and rotations. RNA, RNA, RNR, RNR. Did I miss something? Okay. So yeah, I was just talking to them. They garden too. I was just kind of shooting the wind, as they say, just reconnecting with them because I haven't been talking to them for a bit. All right. They do follow me here on the YouTube side, right? I was just talking to them for a while. Like turned into like 2 hours. I was just making conversation and just seeing, all right, stuff like this. I was mentioning to them as a content creator, all right. Now, if they randomly hear this, they'll already know because I've explained it to them or whatever, right? But I was just saying because at the moment, everyone, I got videos scheduled to like the end of November right now. You're probably like, what? For real? Yeah. You serious, CR? Yeah, I'm serious. For real? Yeah. For real, right? They're like, wow, CR, you really? I'm like, yeah, because what I've been saying, some of these videos I've been doing have dropped in my lap. Easy, what I call easy kind of content, right? Where it's easy to record, doesn't take that long. The scripting, the editing, even if you do any of it, the title, the thumbnail, the description, any of that stuff just comes naturally. Just very, very easy, right? You don't actually have to be like, right? That kind of thing. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes, the last thing I'm coming up with is a thumbnail or a title, right? Or even sometimes the title or the thumbnail is the first thing I come up with because I know what I'm gonna do, whatever it is, right? Something funny or catchy or whatever, quickie like, right? And then then the editing may be the more difficult part because I'm doing a DIY, for example, some sort of sewing project, and I have to compile the footage together in a certain way, right? Because obviously at DIY I more or less have to show it in order. Maybe I'll show. Ooh, what's this? And it looks like, but you have to wait and watch the rest of the video so you can see how I started this and what the resources I put into it and get into it. All right, something along the lines of that. Because I know some people out there have, I wouldn't say issues, or concerns, but like insert word similar to difficulty in making videos, and I get that, right? Sometimes it's just like, you got quote unquote writer's block, right? But like I said, when content drops in your lap, Mother Nature provides the content. Like today's video, which the guy right here saw. I'll catch you later, Mike. GP saw. All right, that was just dropped in my lap. Mother Nature provided me an example of video idea, and I just ran with it. Or cycled with it. In this case, right? What you guys don't know is, unless I think I did put it in the description or whatever, but you'll hear it from me now, for sake of transparency. Today's video, earlier today, if you haven't caught that, alright? It is the last video at this time, which would be the 12th of September. And the previous video I've shown, which did really well, I appreciate the views and the comments from my followers and all that stuff, right? Both of those videos were I recorded them back in June. Like, what? Back in June's here? Yeah, they just been scheduled. Because I just like, especially last week's video, I was thinking to myself, originally I was going to post it over the summer, between, June, July, August, right? But I'm like, when I decided to postpone it to this month to chime in for National Preparedness Month a little bit more. And besides, I can add in the keywords too. and a title to match it, right? I just found there's gonna be better timing for it, right? What's up? I appreciate you dropping by. Remember, I live out west, right? I'll probably still get up relatively early, anyway. Relatively, not quite at sunrise, but 9 o'clock maybe local time. LST, as in local standard time, right? Not to be confused with something else, right? But yeah, so those videos just dropped in my lap, so I batched recorded them. Like literally in 3 days, I recorded like 3 videos, which for the most part will all make an appearance this month or next month because I recorded them back in June. In June. Some people may have gotten a memo on that just because I shared part of it, right? So, if you hear about this, it was like, oh yeah, I remember Sierra. Well, remember, if I say it to you, I feel special because like I just gave you a sneak peek or something for later on, right? But of course, if you want to see what it is, you gotta go check out the content itself, right? Go check it out. Because I decided to try stuff out. Why not, right? I mean, what's the point in having like all this gear? I mean, it doesn't matter if it's gardening or whatever, right? Like, what's the point in gardening if you just keeping the seeds? Like, yeah, you have the seeds for a rainy day or to plant later on, but I mean, like, might as well use them, right? Or at least attempt to use them. I mean, like, even for me lately, I'm just like thinking to myself, yeah, I like growing the sunflowers and all that stuff, but I gotta find uses for them besides just the seeds. Like right now, I actually have 12 reasons now to grow the sunflowers. For multiple reasons now. Not just for the seeds. I mean, I'm not gonna go deep into it because I'm planning to do a video in the future about this, which been recording some B-roll to use later on for the video. I still have to come up with it, right? I'll probably think about it over the winter or whatever when I'm in bed or whatever during like December or whatever on a holiday or like in a car or whatever, right? Or lying down or whatever, right? Or during some gardening time with some other people and just kind of think about it. But I'm like, because even earlier I was talking to someone, I was talking to a neighbor, they could see my sunflower, and I was just, they're like, I was just talking about that. I was just like, yeah, I got all these reasons to grow a sunflower, right? I shared one of the bonus reasons, which I would not say here, but it was just something I just came up with just because, out of necessity. I'm just like, so, we'll see. I'm going to see, I'll see again later if I use it again, but it's just something I just thought of, right? That kind of just made sense. So, yes. Yeah. Are you? Nice. Nice. I mean, like, I wasn't planning to do a preparedness type of stream, but whatever. It's late night stream. I wasn't planning to do a PREP type stream, but I guess I can dive into it a little bit more. I mean, a lot of people are saying that now. At least, I mean, the more prepared-minded people overall, right? Even the gardening community, even the bushcrafting community is kind of saying it to a certain degree, right? The food thing and all that stuff, right? There's plenty of videos out there, right? Some of those channels that we follow, however big or small, right? They all have their opinion about it or point of view about it, right? But I mean, generally, stuff like water and food is kind of high on the list, right? Of necessities, like literally necessities, right? It's not a want, it's a need, right? We require it in time, maybe it's this whole kind of 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food, right? Like, you'd be lucky to even get by after 1 or 2 days without water, or 1 or 2 weeks without food, right? You'd be hurting. I could just imagine that, right? Because you don't have that energy or calories in your system. You don't have the hydration in your blood. Well, in you, right? Keep going. And then that's not even mentioning environmental factors like heat, cold, well, stress, activity level too, right? Imagine doing a bunch of hard work day after day with no food energy in you because you haven't eaten. It's kind of gonna be more difficult, right? Like I've never fast that long or whatever, or gone without food or water that long, but you know, but I can just imagine your energy level would just tank, like literally, because you got no fuel in the tank. You got no, uh, what? If I'm using a car as a metaphor, you don't have any coolant in your system, right? In terms of water, right? You know, the hydration needed to keep everything going. The water in your blood, the water in your cells, all right? You would just be like, right? So you did that, Charles. Cool. That's pretty cool. I guess I'm at 85% on the phone, so I get some time right now. So that's why, like, even this month, not just this month, but also every other month I do it too, to a certain degree, but also this month a little bit more, just because fall's coming up, right? Like, I've actually been using the National Preparedness Month as, like, a stepping stone towards, like, transitioning into fall and winter, right? Because for me, it is happening in time. Like, I'm seeing leaves on the ground, kind of deal. Dry, too, right? You know, like, the majority of them are still on the tree, but, you know, it's kind of that 5% that started already, right? I mean, it's harvest season right now, for me anyways, for most things. Well, last month to a certain degree too, right? But especially this month. And probably next month to a certain degree too. Pretty sure, right? You know, stuff like tomatoes that I got or whatever, right? Stuff I have to eventually do in time if I want to consume them or whatever. Preserve them whatever method you choose, right? Whatever's available to you. You know, if you got this, then do that. If you don't, do this, right? If you got this, whatever, right? Whatever helps extend the shelf life, right? Of the produce in this case, right? Because also, yes, fresh fruits and vegetables are gonna give you the most, the most at the time because it's fresh, right? But because it's fresh, right? It degrades in time, right? So you gotta preserve it to a certain degree. Whatever works and whatever needs you have available for you, right? Canning, dehydrating, whatever, right? That kind of stuff, right? Freezing too, I guess, right? I see. But yeah, that's why I'm just like, I keep doing it and to keep doing these certain little things, and hopefully it'll pay off. But I know some of it pays off, but hopefully, it'll be it'll be worth my effort, right? I'm hoping taking the time now, taking energy now, will help me save time, substantially more time and energy later on. If that makes any sense, right? Because in preparedness, generally, the reasoning to be proactive versus reactive gives something more forethought than less hindsight is that in a situation, whatever it is to a person, right? You don't have to. There's something missing. Something that's gone down, whatever it is, right? Let's say power or whatever, right? Or you're in an accident or whatever. Something happened to to push you into this situation. Something pushed you into this situation, whatever it is. Man-made, natural, whatever, right? Or someone else's fault, or whatever. It just happened, right? Localized, whatever, right? It's storms coming or whatever, right? And preparing in advance can, I wouldn't say guaranteed, but it can reduce that stress because you have options available within your on you bag, car, truck, home, RV, boat, plane, helicopter, on person, EDC, everyday carrier, right? Some sort of bag, whatever, backpack or whatever, fanny pack, sling bag, shoulder strap bag, whatever, right? That kind of thing, right? Purse, pouch, all that stuff, right? And hopefully it's nearby when it happens, right? But because you do this stuff in advance, right now, right? Before something happens, before the power goes out, right? You kind of have the time, the luxury, I guess, to a certain degree, to try it out now. Learn from it. Learn how, I mean, like, it could be as simple as, oh, yeah, it's here. I got this rechargeable headlamp, flashlight, something, or lantern, right? It runs off USB. It's got this internal battery. It's got it's solar on it. Some sort of hand crank wind up thing, right? And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's cool, that's cool. How long does it last? Right? And they're like, hypothetically speaking, they're like, I think a couple of hours. Oh, okay. You know, but for me, I'd be like, trying it out. Like, is it really a couple hours? Right? Like, it's good to know that, right? Because let's say something like that hypothetically is like 4 hours runtime. Let's just say hypothetically, probably isn't, probably could be less or more, but let's just say 3.5 hours in, with a half an hour to spare, if you're using it, let's just say overnight or whatever, or day to day or whatever, right? You'd be like thinking, okay, I gotta charge this back up. So while that's charging up, I need another light source. So you bring up a contingent, an alternative version of it, right? Maybe a solar powered light or whatever, right? Some sort of something like that. While you're charging said USB blah, 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 headlamp or whatever, right? Flashlight or whatever, right? So that's why I'm just like thinking to myself, I'm like, yeah. Because even the Air Night, I had a chance for a little bit. I was just like, it's just trying something out. Just a runtime of something, right? Just to get a sense of it, at least, right? Because I hear these kind of things every so often, right? Where I don't know if it's like they're jokingly saying it or like serious about it or like being into the word I can't think of right now for the sentence thing, where they're like, like, oh, your phone light, right? That kind of thing, right? In the preparedness community, right? We got our phones, right? But we also realize at times that, it's nice to have another option or a dedicated option, like solar lights, flashlight, headlamp, lantern, and stuff like that, to conserve your battery on your phone, for example, right? For example, right? Or you got a radio or CB in your hand or whatever to make communication happen to, right? You got other options, right, to conserve the power on it, right? But sometimes some of these videos, when I'm watching them incognito just to watch it, while I'm doing stuff or whatever, like out here, like, yeah, you only get 20 minutes on your light on your phone. I'm like, or something along the lines of that. I'm like, and your battery's not drop flat so fast, right? I mean, maybe it depends or whatever, but I've tried this out before to a certain degree. I was just testing the like 5 minutes, 5%, or let's say an hour's worth of runtime. Like, and try this out. Actually, try this out. All right, just so you know for yourself, right? Because when you have information knowledge, you can make a better decision if you think about it like that, right? Where if you have a light function on your phone, right? It could be an older phone or one that you're not using or whatever. Just kind of try it out, right? If you can spare the power and the time for it, right? But kind of run it for an hour, right? And see how long that lasts. I mean, not how long that lasts, but how much battery does that take up for you? No, I'm not saying mathematically it's going to translate overall and stuff like, 5% in 1 hour, it's going to give you X amount of time if you multiply it out, but at least then you have a sense of like how fast your battery drops if you had to rely on, if you had to use it, right? And maybe you put it in airplane mode, turn off Bluetooth, dim your display, turn Wi-Fi off, right? Just for that, right? Because I'm like, been thinking to myself more and more lately. It's just like, you know, the premise of like having the flashlights is like, yeah, so you can conserve battery on your phone to make that emergency call or whatever, right? That kind of thing, right? And it's a dedicated device, for example, right? Which means that, look, I can go over here and make the phone call, and you can check over there in the dark, kind of deal. Because then you can separate them, right? Because if it was just one device, that means I gotta be on the phone, whatever, at that time, and trying to aim this flashlight at the same time. If that makes any sense. And I can't just talk on the phone or whatever to send a text message and give it to someone to use the flashlight. Because I'm actively on the display, typing on the screen, right? You know what I mean? Like, imagine trying to type on text someone with the flashlight on and aim it at the same time to see where you're going. Right? If you think about it like that, having a dedicated flashlight of some sort, aka torch for you UK residents or whatever, my followers over there, over the pond, or a headlamp or a lantern along the lines of that, right? Or a dedicated device that can do it for you. If that makes any sense. I see. Okay, drops. But yeah, you get what I mean? Like, I've had light sources before, right? Just because I needed them, right? You know, I've just more lately I've acquired a few more to add in, right? Something like flashlights and headlamps, right? Which may make an appearance later in another video down the road. Probably not this year, but maybe next year. Because technically I have to record it. I'd share it right now, but I don't want to spoil it right now because I'm only half an hour in, right? Just to keep you guys in suspense about it, right? All right. Keep you guessing about it, but but still think that that's come in handy. I mean, like I even in my pocket right now. I got my stream light in my pocket right now. I got my stream light. I mean, here I'll even turn on the camera function for a bit. Show the ground here. See? Stream light. I got it in my pocket. I charged up the battery with solar power, with solar the other day. Because it hasn't been raining here, but I've been getting some sunshine, so I'm utilizing the resources that Mother Nature is providing right now anyways, which is solar energy, sunshine, right? Hopefully Mother Nature will provide some rainwater too. That'd be nice too. And we'll come back into what I call balance to a certain degree, right? Having both sunshine and rain. Because right now, I haven't seen the rain for like weeks. Like this coming up Monday or Tuesday, this coming up like week, it'll be like 3 weeks at least. Well, a drop of precipitation. Alone like spit. It's spitting outside, right? I might see some like late next week. The following weekend. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Because every time I look at the forecast, they keep pushing that date, or the probability of precipitation changes, or it just completely outright changes to sunshine again, or just cloudy skies, right? So, we'll see. I've been keeping tabs on it just to see if it's more consistent. Because usually, if it's more consistently, they're still saying it. The likelihood starts to increase, I guess. The probability starts to increase because it's more and more likely. Obviously, it's not 100% until it happens, right? I've seen 70%, 80% chance of showers turn into nothing. like literally, I'm just like, it literally just, it's like, and blows over, right? Yeah, I got you. That reminds me earlier with people have been singing about these GAWs, giveaways, right? You know, they're like, oh, sorry, sir, you live in Canada and I can't ship to Canada, like, and I'll say something like, and I really do mean it right now, at least at the moment, right? I'm not here for a giveaway, right? Or whatever, right? You know? Or don't add me to that list or whatever, because I'm like, yeah, I'm not here for a giveaway. It's because ever since I won this last giveaway, like I won the first prize, right? I've shown it on as a video, right? Bunch of gear, right? The shipping was more expensive than the gear, apparently, from what they told me, right? I don't know, but apparently that's what they told me, right? But I was lucky enough to win something, even the first prize, right? That's why I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna give other people a chance, right? Because I feel like, yeah, it'd be nice to have, oh, they're giving away this, a dehydrator, they're giving me this, or I'm like, yeah, I could use something like that or whatever, but I'm like realizing, it'd be nice and all, don't get me wrong, or whenever certain little things, right, but, like, I'm trying not to be there specifically for the gear, if that makes any sense, right? Especially channels I follow on a more regular basis, they go live and I chime in. I'm a channel moderator for them, right? I've said this before. It's because, it's not like I haven't won a giveaway before or whatever, right? And it's also not like I haven't paid it forward. I've done that too, right? But I'm realizing more and more, like, yes, resources matter, gear does matter, supplies do matter, right? Physical things do matter, right? But there's how do I say this? There's got to be something more than just gear out there, right? In the preparedness community, there's got to be something more, right? Whatever it is, that skill, that knowledge, that experience out there, right? Stuff like that. So that's why I'm trying to reclaim in my life, so to speak. Yeah, I'm wishing for rain too, man. It's been dry. I mean, I know it was dry last month for people out east, but I'm like, it's been dry out west here. There's been some heat, but I mean, like, it's been literally bone dry at times. Literally at times, right? Maybe certain areas may have isolated showers at best, right? But it's not like an inch, but it's over 3 weeks of time. It may make a puddle, but it can only refill like a cistern or water barrel so much, right? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, next time it rains, I'll be doing a rain dance. I'm like, yeah, it rained, right? So that's why I'm just like, yeah. That's why a lot of my videos for this month have to do with water. Actually, you will. That's a sneak peek right there. A verbal sneak peek right there. A lot of my videos this month had to do with water, except for one of them. Yeah, except for one of them. I won't say specifically why. I'll have to wait for it, but something to entice you to drop by and get something going for yourself. Where am I at? Alright, 45 minutes. Maybe have a sip of my drink here. Open up my thermos here. Oh yeah, that's good. That's good. But yeah, like even today I was I'm starting to do something that I haven't done like all summer. All right, what? What have you done all summer, Seer? And it's called sewing. Because I usually don't do the sewing in the summertime, unless I'm actually like fixing something or mending something quickly, right? Right. But today I did a little bit more. It's not a project. It's just things I'm either boosting up in terms of like reinforcements, or just to like stop something from fraying or whatever, the edge or whatever. So like I hem it up, right? I'll flip it back on itself and then sew it together, right? So I don't have that raw edge that can fray, for example. And do something like that. Just, I mean, if you think about it, how does that even relate to preparedness? Well, actually it does. Because, like, if your bag starts fraying, in time, it starts to break apart and pull away, right? Like, that kind of thing, right? I mean, obviously, if it's made with high-quality materials and craftsmanship, yeah, it'll last a little bit longer. But what I'm saying in general, right? Things, clothes, materials, bag, or whatever, stuff like that, in time, can start to wear down, you know? Even, the popular YKK zippers, right? Yeah, they go for a while, right? And sometimes you can wear out a jacket before you wear out the zipper, but I've worn out a YKK zipper, but that took a long time, right? Long time. It's not in the first year, second year, third, fourth, even the fifth year. It's like in the 15th, 16th, 17th year of having it, right? Like, I actually use it long enough and gotten lots of uses out of it, right? I've seen many people and many days of winter anyways, right? So, night drops, I'm assuming, because it says GN there, but yeah. That's why I'm just like thinking of myself, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit more proactive on it. I always try to anyways, right? Because even back in 2020, I was doing that for a little bit during that March-April period. At that time, February, March, April period of 2020, right? During that time. Yeah, I was doing that. So I was sewing before anyone else was really sewing, alright? Before it became popular again, right? This is just like, yeah, I started to do that. Now I just kind of do it every so often, right? Like, I'll be watching a live stream or whatever and then just doing it. Like, right now, I'm just relaxing, just chilling, right? Enjoying myself here. Oh, wow. Chilling and chatting with you guys, right? Keeping it real here. Speaking of keeping it real, I thought I had something in the pocket. Oh, no, it's in my seat. I was just wondering where it was, right? So, I'm not sure how long I'll go for this here. If people join, they join. If they don't, well, maybe I'll end the stream, whatever. Not a big deal. So, like I said, this is just an impromptu stream. One of my late night streams that I do, right? And all that stuff. And perhaps I will share something. We'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. And all that stuff. I'm only 15 minutes in. Which also means... As I check the time here, yeah. So it's about past. Yeah, it's almost past. Almost about an hour. We'll see. We'll see how long. We'll see. I'll go to the 1 hour mark at least, just to round it off to that kind of thing. Not quite to the top of the hour, but we'll see. We'll see how it all turns out. Alright? Because I know it's late. Right? It's 1:30 Eastern, EST. Right? 2:30 in Atlantic Canada right now. And wherever time it is in Europe and such, and other places, right? 10:30 p.m. Pacific, and every other time in between and among that, right? So, it's all good. It's all good. I just do these late night streams to give other people a chance to drop by that are not able to drop by during my morning or afternoon streams or whatever, right? Because I get people are doing stuff or whatever, right? That's why I vary it up. just to give a chance for other people to join, right? Because, like, yes, there's a benefit to streaming at a certain time every single time. Yes, consistency, people, it's more predictable. But if you're doing something always at that time, and you're unable to drop by, you're always, catching it on the replay, if anything, right? But varying up the stream time allows other people, my followers here on YT, to join me, drop by, say hi, be like, hey, CR, what's up, man? How's it going, right? And stuff like that. Now, I know one thing's for sure. I've already dropped 13%, so I will plug it back in my phone here. Make sure my device is charging. Always top it back off while I'm here. Might as well. Keep going here. Might as well. Like I said, I know I will go to the hour mark at least. I don't know if I'll go longer. We'll see. Because currently, actually, I have no one in here right now. And what I've said before, it is actually harder to do a live stream when you actually don't have the side chat. Or you've had the side chat disabled, right? I've had both happen. I actually did a 20-minute live stream real quick without the side chat. I knew people were in. Don't get me wrong, right? And I mentioned, like, how I had this stuff I wanted to say live, right? That's why I don't have a side chat. I can see all you, that kind of deal, right? I can see not see the people or who it is, but I can see the number. Whenever 2, 3, 5, 10, whatever it is, right? Just to keep it going. So, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna reverse it. Here it is. Something I want to eventually take care of here. I got this wired shelf, right? It's dismantled at the moment, but I'm thinking of, like, either putting it together or putting it together in some form or fashion to reuse. It's actually sitting, like, literally right behind me. No, I can't quite get it because it's stuck together and it's right behind me. But, yeah. Because I've been thinking, I'm like, maybe I should try to attempt to reuse it in some form or fashion. I've been thinking about it. It's a metal thing. It's not totally like. It's like a wired shelf, I guess, for lack of a better description. It's got that more gray color that you would see, right? It's still funny. I don't know. Because I don't even know where to put it right now, even if I did set it up again or whatever, right? Because I'm just trying to figure it out. I mean, there's screws too, so I might be able to make it shorter, for example, but I don't know. We'll see. Where am I at? Yeah, 54 minutes. Okay. So we'll see how much longer I go for. So unless it changes, I'll probably go to this hour or more. Unless it changes. As I see someone in my chat once again. Because I can see the number. Since I'm the host. Welcome back. Or it went back to 0, whatever. I'll keep going anyways. Because I know I'm gonna keep going no matter what. It's fine. The motivation to keep going. Alright? That kind of fatigue can get to anyone at times, right? Sometimes you gotta dig deep and keep on going in spite of what's going on. Like, and literally to the point that I can almost make a song out of that. Like, I'm not even joking. That kind of thing, right? Because I reach into my bag here. I briefly showed it earlier, obviously. You've seen a sneak peek on that. I'll turn on an air device. Just for the hell of it. Here it is. Yeah, if you can tell what that is, well, you'll know. I've shown it on the channel before. I was just checking the battery level on it. It's half full. It's not my primary source, so maybe I'll top back off later. I usually, like, if I have like 20% or 1 bar left on the battery bank or something like that, I might charge it back up and kind of reroute that power towards something else before I charge it back up again and stuff like that. So that power goes somewhere and stuff like that. Because I got other battery banks that are would be still full still. It's not like I desperately need a full battery bank now, right? Because like I've said, if you only got 1 battery bank, it's one thing, right? But if you have 2, trying to keep 1 full and use the other one, right? Especially if you're using it as content creators, whatever, and stuff like the people that go outside, venture outside, do these things, right? Yeah, as long as you're gonna use your battery on your phone or device, right? So I get having to use the battery banks to do something, right? Whatever it is, right? To power a device, fan, whatever, right? Some USB fan or whatever. Top off a USB flashlight, headlamp, lantern, phone, fan, headset, phone, Bluetooth speaker, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think I'll go to this hour more. Yeah, I think I'll just go to this hour more, whatever, it's fine. That just means that I can do some other things. I just wanted to come on live and just, reconnect with some of you out there, and keep some of you in my thoughts, in spite of the difficulties that we're all having at times, right, including myself, right. I may talk a big game at times, but I'm also having issues with certain old things I need to square away, do myself, right? I'm not oblivious to it, right? I see the writing on the walls at times, right? But you just got to keep going. Keep doing something, right? Do something you can do. And you're probably like, hey, Sierra, what do you mean do what you can't do? We might not be able to, quote unquote, control the supply chain. What happens overseas, what happens down south, in the next country over, next state, province all over. What happens at this house, this place, right? But we can do something in our own place, our own homes, our own areas, our own bodies. Even right now, as you're listening to this, I'll use this as a way to, sign out of here. Something positive, right? And keep going in spite of what's going on. So remember, everyone, things are changing out there. But you know what else? We can change too. Because it's up to us to do something about it with everything we've got. And I will keep creating all the stuff because it is my way to deal with it. My way of dealing with it, right? Dealing with what I have to, uncertainty and stuff like that. And that's why I create. At least one of the reasons why I do it. Alright? That's what I'm able to do here for what it is. And you'll keep seeing those videos for a while. At least for the immediate future. At least for the rest of this year anyways, right? So everyone, this world may be changing out there. And it is. But we still have time, the ability to adapt to it the best that we can. It doesn't matter who you are out there. Whatever, right? Color skin, blah, 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 all this stuff, hair color, whatever, you know. We all have red blood in us, right? And as they say, right? So keep practicing those skills, increase that knowledge bank, increase the experience with it. And when possible, try to help people out the best that you can and encourage them, or at least try to, right? Lead by example whenever possible. And with that, I will sign out of here and take care of everyone. And take care, everyone. All the best. And I'll catch you all on the next live stream for me. Take care, everyone. Toodles.